At a state-run stable out on the vast steppe outside the capital of Kazakhstan, Amanzol Kasinov knows a good race when he sees one as he trains 200 horses. It's not just the Astana public that saddle up here, but politicians. So when it came to the presidential elections, Amanzol knew how to spot a winner.
Racing is racing. There's the happiness of winning and the bitterness of losing. People are voting for the person and for the economy. These two things are inseparable. If there is a boom in the economy, it means there is a person behind it.
That's what was tested in a snap election that saw the incumbent president, Nursultan Nazarbayev, pitted against three rivals who championed everything from social security to green issues.
I want to liquidate the monopoly of one party and to have a multi-party parliament and to finish administrative reforms and to transfer the authority to the parliament.
The short notice of the election was an issue for us. We did everything we possibly could within 1 month. The territory of Kazakhstan is vast. So to reach all the people within 1 month, it's not possible.
On election day, voters were out in force at more than 9,700 polling stations across a nation the size of Western Europe.
Well, I voted for the president because he has increased our pensions and we live comfortably now.
I voted for Ahmet Bekov, leader of the Communist Party. He is very energetic, and I think we need fresh blood in the political situation of the country.
Along with top politicians, the president was out voting. His popularity is intertwined with Kazakhstan's meteoric economic rise. 20 years with Nazarbayev at the helm has seen market reforms, over $120 billion in foreign investment and a 500% rise in GDP. These facts aren't lost on voters.
The Central Election Committee reported that 90% of the electorate participated, and over 90% of the votes were given to me as president of the country. We also need to continue political modernisation. There is hope from the international community for this.
A landslide victory, largely unheard of in the West, had international observers signalling that Kazakhstan still needs to make progress on democratic reforms before parliamentary elections next year.
The lessons of yesterday, in combination with the aspirations and ambitions, could be used for changing, for improving the electoral environment for the next elections.
We are on the way of democratization, and we are strictly committed to the democratization processes, apart, of course, from the social economic reforms and diversification and modernization of the economy. And the President particularly mentioned increasing of the role of the parliament.
With the president firmly back in the Accorder, the Kazakh White House, the economy and bolstering the private sector is back on the agenda, using revenues from vast oil reserves, now buoyed by high prices.
Fate has given the Kazakhs a very good opportunity, and I think if there is something you would really like to have access to at this point in time, it is natural resources and political stability, and I think Kazakhstan offers both of those.
The economy is still quite highly dependent on natural resources and oil in particular. Oil accounts for about 25 to 30% of the economy, 50% of government revenues, 60% of exports. It's of course been very important in the growth of the economy over the last decade, but it does mean that the economy is potentially vulnerable to large swings in international commodity prices.
That's why, post-elections, the Harvard-educated Minister of Economy believes it's time for Kazakhstan to be more integrated into the global economy if it's to thrive and survive. Joining the World Trade Organization by the end of next year is part of that goal.
Which will give a clear signal to investors, particularly investors who will be going to non-oil and non-energy, non-extracting sectors of the economy, that the government is committed to regulate the economy based on international trade regulations.
It's this style of economic management that has seen income per head jump more than tenfold since the early 1990s. The recent overwhelming vote to re-elect Nazarbayev was not just one to keep their 70-year-old president in power, but a vote for continued economic prosperity over political change.